right, so we'll go ahead and get this all started. So first off, thank you everybody here who's come to attend. Really appreciate it. What we're here for is the Professional Development Cohort Program. So this is something that I helped found and organize, and it's just kind of an idea that came to me when I was doing my own kind of career research, trying to find positions, as many of you are going to be doing shortly. So the idea behind it is that we learn a lot of really useful knowledge, a lot of theory in school, but that information, while useful, doesn't align perfectly with the requirements of professional software development. So this project was essentially a way to bridge that gap, give people the opportunity to work in that type of environment under the guidance of a mentor who has experience and can really share that mindset, that knowledge that leads to successful development. The way that this whole thing works is we have 6 to 8 contributors and 1 mentor per cohort. We have 6 weeks to choose a project, create requirements, complete a design, implement the design, and then test and present the results. So the goal is really, as I mentioned, to gain practice at working on a team using tools to solve a problem. And those tools aren't just programming tools, it's not just your computer, but it's actually the communication part. How do you really get your ideas across, and then how do you combine ideas together to come up with an optimum solution? So I just want to introduce the team. So there's myself, Arturo Salazar. I was the team lead for this. I'm also a master's graduate. I graduated in December 2023. We have Mansi Patil, who's a master's student in computer science. Nikhil Kanakanti, another master's student in computer science, actually just started this year. Pratima Yadav, another master's student in computer science. I'm sure you're sensing a pattern here. Then Varshita Palakanda, who is a master's student in information and technology management. I hope I said that right. And then Yogeshwar Pawade, a master's student in computer science. Varshita is going to go ahead and introduce the project that we chose.
Good morning, everyone. This is Varshita Palakonda. Thank you, Arturo, for giving the intro to our application. Now I'll be giving a quick overview of what we have done in these 6 weeks. And in our normal day-to-day life, everyone will be planning events whether it could be a social gatherings or team-related events. It is difficult to decide a place and plan an event and schedule it accordingly, and to get it all done in a proper manner. So to overcome all these problems, we thought of creating an application which would help in creating an event, scheduling it, and viewing it over the maps, everything. And this application will help the event planners to make their work easy, can simplify and enhance the process. And the complexity is normally in planning an event's complexity is increases with a number of participants. If the participants are more, it could raise in conflicts like challenges in scheduling an events and communication breakdowns between them. So to overcome all this, we created a centralized platform where participants can communicate with each other, schedule a place, and from the list of places which are present near to them, and track their participation list, like who are participating, co-participants with them. And these are the key features of our application. Organizer can create an event, modify an event, and he can also share the invitation link to all participants whom he wanted to invite to the event. And collaborator decides whether he can attend the event or he can skip the invitation link if he's not interested. Both the organizer and collaborator can view the venue details and who are going to participate with them, and location, date, time, and etc. From this application, all the participants can easily communicate with each other through the forum, where we can send a message in the form of comments. And for all this application, we had named it as Plan It Now. and next will be continued with our other team member Arthur. Thank you.
So I just want to go over our design process and basically how we started from the initial project idea through the final design. So basically, initially we had 5 potential options we could choose from. So we chose the one that we thought best reflected what we wanted to do, as well as gave us the most opportunity to showcase our skills. Basically, we wanted to balance between having a nice complex project, but something that's still doable in the 6-week time frame. So once we did that, it was time to actually gather our requirements. Essentially, we wanted to know what we actually had to build. We did this by creating user stories and collecting the users that would actually be using our program. Once we actually had that, we needed to kind of pare down all of our ideas into something, once again, that would be able to be completed in that 6-week time frame. So once we got to that point, we knew what we wanted to build and what we essentially needed the program to do. We created sequence diagrams. This essentially explores the interaction between the logic and then the objects in the system. So basically, what does each object need to do, what calls they need to do, what type of data needs to get returned back and forth. We then also, parallel to that, created a database design. And that essentially is supposed to track the type of information we're expecting, what we need to keep track of, and what also we don't need to keep track of. Finally, we iterated over the sequence diagrams and the database design. This is where we took all the ideas that we had and really saw where were we missing things, where were things overlapping well, and where were they not overlapping well. And just kind of paring things down and changing wording and so on and so forth, so that we had a cohesive idea of what we needed to build. And then from there, we actually started working on the actual programming part. Now, in terms of the artifacts that we created as part of this, right here I have listed all of the user stories based on the type of user. So we have organizer as well as collaborator. Organizer being the one who is actually organizing the event, and a collaborator being the person who's been invited to the event. We created these user stories in the format as a blank, I want to blank, which is a format you use to create user stories. So we collected all of the user stories, and then, as I mentioned, we created a sequence of sequence diagrams. Now, for the sequence diagrams, we actually had a good number of them, because there's obviously a lot of different types of activities that would happen in this type of an application. So I just have a couple of them collected. Here is one for an organizer who wants to set up their account. And then we have one for an organizer that wants to go ahead and search for their location, add locations. You can even see here where we took into consideration the external API that we have to be communicating with. And then lastly, here's the database design. And then this covers just, like I said, the description of what we would be tracking, and then the types of attributes that we want to keep track of within that database. So next, I have Pratima will be presenting the programming process.
Hello everyone, thank you Arturo for giving me this opportunity. I'm Pratima, a master's student majoring in computer science. So I'll go through the process what we used for technology, process and methodology for during this project. So as you all know, for any project to work on, we have many tasks to do. We have a large team members. We have to assign those tasks to each member so that everyone contributes to the team. So if it is done in a manual basis, so it will be a hectic process, like managing team, managing all the tasks, completing the project on time. So we'll have a start date, due date, and everything else to manage the project. So we have used Jira, a project management tool, which helps in planning, tracking, and managing the project in an efficient way. So we assigned, after a couple of meetings and after doing rigorous brainstorming, we had a couple of tasks which was assigned, and we decided to jump on a Jira tool so that each of us has the ability to see what others are doing and track and plan those tasks in an efficient way. So as you can see on the screen, we have a to do, we have a in progress and done workflows here. We have a start date, we have a comment feature as well. So everyone has updates on other tasks as well, in addition of what they are doing. So for the design, we have used Figma, which is a design tool which allows team to create, prototype and iterate in a user interface design. So we have used Figma for designing our web pages, and we have all the components, how it will look like, what will be the gradients, what will be the colors, what all pictures will be used in designing our product. So this is the process which we have followed. So we have followed agile methodology, which is nothing but it promotes the iterative progress of the project. It helps in continuous feedback, and it like customer feedback and rapid release of the project. So, and also we had a meeting twice a week where we discussed about the updates. We discussed about the challenges we were facing during doing the task, and also planning for the next task. We used to do the updates on Jira tool, and on the mail thread we used to share the MOMs, which is minutes of meeting summary. So to keep everyone in the same page, and we also had in-person meeting as well to have updates on each task. Technology we have used for the front end is basically we used React along with React developer tools and Vite. So using React has made us to create a web page in an efficient way, because it has several features like it has a JSX script integration which allows integration of JavaScript with CSS, and we didn't have to use CSS like in a separate way. So we have the integration of JavaScript and CSS in React. Also, it has a code reusability feature where React component can be used in multiple places after creating at once. So it has this feature as well, and also virtual DOM. So it has a fast rendering. Whenever developer creates any web page or updates any web page, it has the ability to load that page in a quick way. So yeah, and also shared CNN, HTML, CSS. For the backend, we used Django. So it's a Python-based framework, and it also has several features like inbuilt ORM. So ORM is nothing but object. Object is class, entity of class you can say, and relation is nothing but the relational database. So it has a feature of integrating object-oriented languages with the relational database. So in our case, it is SQLite. And for APIs, we have used Leaflet for map, Google search for search location, and OAuth for authorization. And we have hosted the backend on AWS. So this was all about front end, backend, and what process we followed during the project. Next will be shown by Yogeshwar, the project owner. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning everyone. So my name is Yogeshwar, and today I am here to present Planet Now. So Planet Now is basically a web application which manages all the events, all the functionalities. We have included all the functionalities which a daily user needs to keep track of his event, or create an event, or invite people, and other functionalities. We will discuss it in video. So I'll play the video. Yeah, so this is our landing page. As you can see here, it has three components, that is the header, then the body part, and the footer. So the body part consists of carousel, which we have implemented through shared CN, and it basically shows all the images related to the categories which are included in our project. And at the top right corner, you can see the login and the sign up button, which uses Google OAuth to create a user session and let you log in through in the application. Now, as you can see here, I have a sign up page where I need to input the first name, the last name, and then it will log in through Google OAuth. but as I have already an account, so I'm gonna log in, and and which will take you to the hero page or the home page of our application. So the home page consists of three functionalities, that is view plans, events, and start a plan. So view plans is nothing but it will show the list of plans whatever we have made, and list of events is nothing but whatever plans you have been invited to. And then third comes the create a plan. So this is once we click on create a plan, this is the UI. This is the UI for create a plan. And so first of all, in the search bar, we need to give the search queries such as the category which you are looking for, and then the location for which we are looking for. And after that, the application will provide you a list of all the places, or the top 10, you can say top 10 places near the location searched, and then you can select one of the location among them, and then you can create your own plan. Once you click on add, it will take you to the pop-up which will ask the plan name, which will ask the date, time on which you have to host the event, then the description that people should read and know about what the event is, and the number of people. And after this, once you click on create a plan, it will create a plan successfully, and this plan will be listed in the event section which we saw on the home screen. Moving to the next part is the plan detail. So as you can see here, just now we created a event that is live music performance, and you can see this list here. And from here we can also invite people by clicking the invite button, where it will ask you to input the email ID of the user who you want to invite. And once I invite, you can see I invited to Mansi Patel, and you can see here she gets a mail saying you have been invited to this event by the host. And then once she RSVPs, it will be in the events list. So clicking on the plan, it will take you to the plan description, which has all the detailed events regarding the plan. And then further it will tell you the attendees who are going to attend the event, and then you can make any announcement. If you want people to know anything about the event, then you can put comment in the comment section, and this comment will pop up to the user, and the user will be notified saying you have a comment on the event. Now moving forward, we have the events part, which is nothing but the events you have been invited to as a collaborator. So as you can already see here, book club meeting is already an event, so I would like to RSVP, so I clicked on yes, and then it will add you as an attendee. So again, clicking on the events card, it will take you to the details of the event, and it will tell you all the details regarding the event, what the event is. And it is the same interface as you saw in the list of plans, where you can see attendees. So I already RSVP'd in front of you, so you can see my name over here in the attendees. And further you can see that already Nikhil has hosted the event, and he has commented that feel free to suggest any other location. So on that, I would like to comment, I think this location would be a great place for this event, so I'll comment, and this all comments will be visible to all the attendees of the event. So this is what our application is. And moving forward, we have a logout button, which will close the user session and will redirect you to the landing page. So this is our Plan It Now application, and hope so you liked it. And our team has put a lot of efforts in, like, combining efforts in this to create this project. Thank you.
This next section, it's kind of stepping out of my role as part of the team and more as an organizer. A lot of times people don't really have the opportunity to talk about the successes that they've had on a role or on a project, the impact they've had, the things that they've created, the things they're proud of that they've done. You might have that opportunity in your resume, but when it comes to actually being able to talk about it in front of people, you don't often get to see that. So really this next section is for each participant to be able to come up and just say what they're most proud of, what they've done, what they've achieved through this project. So to kick it off, we'll start for myself. So my main role in this project as a team lead was, in my opinion, to facilitate everyone else's work. Sometimes that was giving people space to work to make whatever impact they'd like. Other times it was to help focus us and make sure that we were staying on task, keeping track of things. A lot of this was just the day-to-day forming meetings, making sure everyone's invited, making sure everyone can come. And then other times it was just simply having one-on-one communications with people. So that was my impact as the team lead. My impact as a programmer was more in terms of helping to design the user stories as well as the sequence diagrams, kind of focusing different ideas that we had, or editing some of our concepts to make them a little bit more clear. And then from the actual coding side, I helped with implementing the search functionality. So that involved interacting with the Google API, and then to do that, I actually had to do a lot of research on that API because it's actually quite complicated. You have to query one location to actually get a place, but then if you want to search nearby and get more place details, there's another API you have to query, and then if you want to get, for example, pictures for a location, you have to also do another query. So what I did was I basically did the research on how this all worked and then implemented it in Python on the Django side as part of a search app. So I'm pretty proud of that for myself because I have limited experience with working with APIs, and most of those APIs are relatively simple. So this was a really good opportunity for me to explore further into how that works. How do you discover what you actually get from an API? How do you read documentation? But then also, as part of that work, I had to build an API. Basically, that search app that I created in Django had to then return a JSON file or JSON code that could then be used by the React side. So it was one of the first times I've helped get information from the back end to the front end when they're, it's not just working in Django, but it's working with a different type of front end, in this case React. So that I think is what I'm most proud of. And then of course, if I can just pat myself on the back, I'm also proud of coming up with this whole idea and bringing people together. Because I think, as you saw in the demonstration, I'm really proud of the work that everyone's done. I think it's a really, really nice application. It works well. It looks really nice. It looks very professional, and we managed to build that all in 6 weeks, which I think is pretty big. Next we have Mansi.
Thank you, Arturo, for this opportunity. Hi everyone, my name is Mansi Patil. I contributed for this project as a UI UX designer and front-end developer. My main responsibility including creating the design layout, user experience, and implementation of front-end code and managing collaboration process between the front-end and the back-end. Design work. I was focusing on UI UX design, where I was responsible for creating interface and designing the layout of the page using Figma. I also selected the color palette and designed the logo for ensuring consistency across the platform. On the front end code, I implemented two important pages, that is organizer view plans and collaborator RSVP page. For the organizer view plans, I aim to create clean and well documented and straightforward interface that makes sure that the organizer can easily manage and attend events. For the collaborator RSVP, my main aim was to create a straightforward interface where collaborator can manage events and respond to invitation. In addition to designing and implementation. I maintained and created a GitHub repository for the front-end code. I reviewed and managed front-end code and ensure it's ready to integration with backend team. Additionally, for 1 week, I appointed as a Scrum Master, where I ensured responsible for team meetings and ensure that the team stays on track. Thank you.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you Artiro for giving me this opportunity. I joined the team in the middle and it was such a wonderful experience, and I have a lot of learning I could take away from this. And so my contributions in this project is I worked as the product owner from the designing part of the thing and made sure that everything is according to the user needs and we have everything designed in such a way. And my contribution to the programming side include I am responsible for designing the database. So while designing the database, my main thought was the database should be as normalized as possible, and it should also cover all the user stories which are prepared by the Artiro. Really nice work with that. I don't know how you worked with that. And the next thing is that I wanted to be as robust and it should not cause any deadlocks. So keeping all this in mind, I have designed the database. It took a lot of iterations, but finally I come out of it. I think I'm really proud of designing it in such a way that it has met all the requirements. I know I have a lot of exploring to do on this side, but the work I am done, I am proud of it. And apart from that, I am also responsible for designing the entire backend. So for backend, we have used Django. So the main reason for using Django is that we have only 3 weeks of time left for programming and we could not do everything for scratch. So Django offers us a certain perks which we have to which are the features implemented, and we no need to write them from the scratch. So it would speed up the process by a lot because we have very less time to design and implement this code. And Django also offers securities such as by default it does not include CSRF tokens, and also it does not it provides protections to SQL injections, and it is also very user friendly. So that is the reason we have used Django in combination with Python. Python is also experience of the development process because it is it includes very less code. And we have also used something called REST APIs, which are the APIs which we have created, which include for our project we needed some GET APIs, some POST APIs, and one PUT API to edit the events. These are the events which we have created. And the most challenging part, and the part which I am very proud of, is hosting this code on the AWS. It took a lot of effort. The coding was done in a limited way, but the hosting part was I had to go some rigorous research and some rigorous work to actually host it. At one point of time I thought it would be impossible to host this code, but against all the odds we have hosted that code. Artiro and Yogi also helped me in achieving this part. I thought it was impossible, but we did it. I'm really proud of that thing which I have done, and we have a working backend which is hosted successfully on the AWS. So these are my parts. Thank you.
Hello again. So my contribution for this project was mainly on the front end part and integrating the front end, the respective front end with the back end. So I designed web pages which was consistent with the every other web pages, and following the design process which we designed in the Figma, and having buttons, having gradients, having scroll bars as per the Figma design, and also keeping not the static variables in the front end, so that it will be easy for integrating with the back end. So in the web pages I have used dynamic variables so that the API integration would be easy for anyone to do, and also I have integrated a Google API which was built by Arturo, and search location which was built by Anathin. So the integration part was done by me for those web pages, and and I'm also proud of what we have done in these 6 weeks. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hi. In this project, I have contributed myself in the front end as a front end developer. I am a bit new to React as I have worked before in stream of Angular. This has become complex for me because as I have no experience in React, I have learned it from the scratch and started it. And everyone has helped me a lot in creating this application, and I contributed myself for this project in by seeing the Figma design which is created by other team members and implementing in the form of an application. And in this project I had done my part as a plan description for the collaborator as well as the organizer, where the organizer can both of them can view the location details and date, time and everything, and they can also see the participants list who are attending the event, and the comment section which they are both the organizer and collaborator can communicate with each other. And this is my part, and thank you for other team members who have helped me in integrating my part because as I was busy in school work. And thank you Nikhil and Yogi for integrating my part. And yeah, that's all I have contributed in this project. Thank you everyone.
Hello again. So in this Plan It Now application, my contributions were significant in both designing as well as the implementation part. So starting with the designing part, my UI UX knowledge was used to design this application, which includes including all the color gradients, the colors and everything were also other team members were also involved in that. Also, moving forward to the front end part, my other contribution was as a front end developer. Moving forward to the front end part, I was responsible for developing the landing page as well as the home page of the application. So as everyone knows, the home page and the landing page are the two main pages which the user first interacts with, and if it's attractive, so user feels good to use the application. So I was responsible for developing those pages with React. Also I contributed in integrating the front end with the back end. As I don't have a lot of knowledge about back end, but as I was involved in this, I got to learn a lot about back end, how Django works, and how a coder sees the Django code and how he integrates it. So this was my great takeaway, that I got to learn Django. This was my contribution to this project. Thank you.
So let's talk about the future iterations and takeaways from the project. So first, potential plans for future iterations. First is payment option. In upcoming iteration, we are focusing on implementing payment features for event organizer and collaborators, where organizer can create payment method and give options like if the event is free, if the payments are split, or if collaborators can pay separately. This will reduce long discussion about the cost. Second one is voting features. We are planning to add polling features where organizer can suggest options like events, dates, location, and collaborators can vote. This could make event planning more democratic and interfair. Third option is QR code checking and message integration. There was also discussion about the integrating about QR codes and checking, creating groups for event chat rooms. Both features are excited, but we are planned to move in phase 2. Now let's talk about the takeaways from the project. First, strengths: user-friendly interface. This application provides seamless experience for creating, managing and viewing events, which is straightforward and easy to navigate. The second one is comprehensive features. The ability to create events, handling RSVPs, managing invites, make the application more vital for this event planning. Now let's talk about the areas for improvement. Integration of social features. Adding features such as social share options or integration with social media will enhance user engagement. Second one is performance optimization, ensuring that the application is well performed under high load. Thank you.
This next part is kind of similar to the part that we had where everybody was talking about their successes and what they've accomplished. This is more about as participants, now that the program is over, what have they learned, what have they taken away from this whole experience? And you got a little bit of that in our previous discussion, but this is really just where we say like what we've learned, if we want to sum it up. So for me, I feel like I learned a lot from beginning to end. I thought I knew how to be a software engineer, and then I found out quickly that I don't. And really that comes more from the communication and social aspect. I think the communication and social aspect, but also the mentality aspect. So our mentor really helped us understand that it's not about just getting to the computer and hitting code. It's really about taking that step back and thinking through what it is that you're going to be designing, why you're designing it that way, what are the pros and cons of it. And I think that for me, it helped me focus a little bit more about that. And even when I've been programming other things aside from this, I noticed that I'm kind of starting from that, well, what question are we trying to answer, and then actually trying to implement code. I think from a communication side, it's been really interesting figuring out how you actually convey your ideas to other people so they understand what you're even talking about. I think it was also really helpful for me to get feedback from people and hear their ideas and understand, well, people bring up a good point that I hadn't even thought about. In particular, if I may call out some people, I think Yogi and Nikhil were both really good about pointing out when there was an issue or a concern or something that I hadn't even thought about. And sometimes, with the team as a whole, we might have a concern and realize it's not a big deal, or, oh, this is something we need to change. And having that flexibility while we were trying to solve this problem, this programming was really useful. And then also just from the programming side, I think it was really helpful for me to both program in something I wasn't familiar with, but also to see other people's code and how it interacted with our system and kind of suss out what they're trying to do and what they're thinking about. I think just anytime you do anything, whether it's programming, whether it's crocheting, whether it's painting, it's always helpful to have other examples to go off of to give you ideas of what you might do going forward. So those are my big takeaways. And then this part is very unstructured, so anyone can come up at any time. You can even come up more than once if you'd like, but
during this 6 weeks of time, I have learned a lot, and there are some times when I was not able to attend the calls, and everyone have helped me, communications. During this time, I had learned a lot with communication, how to communicate with a group of people while doing a project or something. And other big takeaway is I'm new to React.js, and I have learned a lot while creating the application. And first I thought of learning the backend part, but I switched to front end as it was React. It may be helpful for me if I learn React also for my future opportunities. And in future, I will also try to learn the backend and become a full stack developer to be in a better position for my career. And that's all I have learned from this project, and thank you.
Yeah, so through this project, I honed my skill basically in full stack development, but mainly in backend, because I was not much aware about how backend goes. So I got to learn a lot during integration, and I also gained a lot of experience in collaborative discussion on design processing, and how the application is actually made. It's not just about going straight forward and just sitting and coding. It's about how we think from the user point of view. So I got to learn a lot about that. And the third part is I also got to know the importance of how the team communicates in a team setting. So these were my takeaways from this project. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi again. So before this project, I thought programming, being a software engineer means you have to code very good code and it's enough. But during this journey, I learned that coding is only a small part of being that job. But the major part is involving in the discussions and designing the actual project which you are going to design. And while I was working on database also, I thought it is very easy to design. But when I actually started to design the database individually, I thought there has to be a lot of planning and thought which has to be put into that before we design. Otherwise, the whole system which we are building will break in a second. So that I thought the importance of database designing, and I didn't know anything about the front end. But during this time, I didn't learn much. I have to learn so much in the front end, but I have an idea of how it is actually done. The designing in Figma and writing code in React and integration with the backend. These are my takeaways from this project.
For me, the key takeaway from this project is that understanding that design phase is equally important as technical aspect. As Nikhil rightly said, that we need to have a design in place to start the coding. So from Santosh, I learned that, and we have spent more time on design phase than coding basically, and that was the result of being our project complete. So I learned that, and I also managed team collaboration a couple of times. So I have learned how to keep your ideas in front of everyone so that it is delivered in a right way. And also I was new to front end. I didn't know much about the front end, so I have learned React and React Native, and it was a key takeaway from me as well, and an integration part as well. So yeah, I've learned a lot from this project. Thank you.
Through this project, I improved my full stack development skills and gained experience in user-centered design. Also, this project helped me to improve my teamwork and clear communication. Also, I realized the importance of teamwork and collaborations and clear communication in delivering a successful project. Thank you.
And then I just want to add one other thing, especially because I already thanked Nikhil and Yogeshwar. I also wanted to thank Pratima, because one thing I learned from this project is how to kind of take a step back from leading a project or being in control of a project. There was a week where I just was not able to attend meetings and so on. And I learned how to actually ask for help. I asked Pratima to take charge of that. She did a great job, of course. And so it was good for me to learn both that I can ask for that type of help, I can take that step back, but then also that I can rely on people to actually step up to the challenge. So thank you. Lastly, we just want to do some final acknowledgments because although there's, the 6 of us are up here talking about what we've achieved, what we've done, the truth is that didn't happen in isolation. We had a lot of guidance and we had a lot of help, both before the program and then after the program. So first, and probably arguably one of the biggest thanks that we have is for our mentor. So as I mentioned at the front, we have this project where we're working together, but we have a mentor, and they're essentially supposed to be there to provide us a lot of their knowledge and experience so that we can learn how to be a developer, how we can work as proper software engineers. And in this instance, we were very, very lucky to have Santosh Vijay. So he has an incredibly distinguished career in technology, I believe more than 30 years of experience, and we truly could not have had a better mentor. He has experience working all the way from the bottom to the very top. His most recent position was as the director and CTO of software strategy at Beckman Coulter Life Sciences. So he was able to really shape the way we approach this project from beginning to end, and really, as everyone has mentioned, gave us that understanding of the importance of design in the engineering process. He also really helped us stay on track if it ever seemed like we might be falling behind or we might not be quite where we need to be. He made sure that we knew that. So truly, once again, we cannot thank him enough. I also wanted to thank the Career Services at the Illinois Institute of Technology. They were essentially the ones that helped us get this project off the ground. First, I'm actually going to go out of order. I want to thank Emily Ginger because she was actually instrumental in getting everybody on this team together. She was really the one who, when we were working on this, when we were trying to find contributors, kept saying like, hey, Arturo, you should think this person, or hey, I have someone in mind, and so on and so forth. And we were really able to grow the team from there, and we're able to grow the team very quickly. Then also Bernie, so Bernie Floresca, he personally has helped me in terms of giving all of his knowledge about how to present, how to talk with people, how to interact with people, really work in a business setting, creating business relationships, as he likes to talk. But then also he was really helpful in making sure that when I was approaching this project, it was with a really professional mindset of how we organize the information, organize every aspect of this. So, and then lastly, I want to thank Nicholas Mancari because he was the first person who really believed in this project aside from me. So I told him first about this June 13th of 2024, and then here we are in September already having presented this project. And he was the first to say that this was a really good idea, that this is something I should run with, and then connect me with all the people that I needed to actually get us off the ground. So truly cannot thank him enough. So really appreciate that. So that really is all that we have left for our presentation. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated. Thank you to everybody who attended this to let us present it to you. This was really a huge learning process, and I'm very excited to see where this whole program as a whole goes going forward, but then also where all of my fellow teammates go going forward as well. So thank you.